everyone, I'm Alice and today we're going down the rabbit hole and discussing what's on this island. So, new recording space, it's work in progress, there's some stuff I need to hang up still, but a lot better than what I've been having to work with. No offense, Gogo. Yeah, before we talk about the specifics of what's on this island, I had to do a surprising amount of research on this for a self-proclaimed theater geek. So first, we are going to hear from SmartMe. Disney and Mark Platt have acquired the film rights for Once on This Island to release a film adaptation onto Disney+. Once on This Island is a one-act musical based on a novel, My Love, or The Peasant Girl by Rosa Guy, which in turn is reimagining the original fairy tale version of Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen, except this time it's in the French Caribbean. Thanks, SmartMe. Also, for those of you who don't know, Mark Platt is a producer who specializes in musical theater and is also the father of Ben Platt, who originated the role of Evan Hansen. First thing we need to say, though, is this. Between this, Hamilton, and the upcoming pro shot of the stage version of Aladdin, Disney Plus is really starting for the theater community. For this episode, I'm going to tell you a bit more about the show itself, and maybe put some rough fan casting in, because I like fan casting way more than someone who has no plans to become a casting director ever. Anyway. So the show Once on This Island is posed as a story told to a little girl who is frightened by a storm. With the villagers taking the roles of the characters. There are four gods based on a few Loas in Caribbean mythology. For those of you who don't know, Loas were like the Caribbean form of saints. They started that when Christians started coming in. Anyway, these are Asaka, the mother of the earth, Agwe, the god of water, Arsuli, goddess of love, and Papagay, the demon of death. They make a bet to see whether love is a stronger force or whether death is. To test this, they follow Ti-Moon. Her name's Desiree, but everyone calls her Ti-Moon. Peasant girl who rescues and falls in love with Daniel, a grand home from beyond. And, because, on their island, there's grand homes who are basically the upper class and the peasants. And as anyone who knows what happened in the original Little Mermaid, not the Disney version, it doesn't end super happily. But why can't it have a happy ending? It's a Disney movie. Because fairy tales aren't always light and fluffy, although it does have a more satisfying ending than certain other musicals that are popular that I won't mention. The show handles topics like classism as well as colorism, where the peasants are natives, or rather the descendants of slaves, since it takes place in Haiti, and upperclassmen from France, which adds a very Romeo and Juliet flavor to the story, since this version of the story does not depend on the main character losing the ability to speak or anything. The story is told in calypso music and an immersive set with props held by dancers. And when I say it's immersive, I'm not kidding. The 2017 Broadway revival literally turned the stage into an island with like sand and live animals and everything. Like, what the heck? Yeah, the story takes place in a fictionalized version of Haiti, which is a Caribbean country on the same island as the Dominican Republic. While its geography would suggest the actors ought to be Latino, for example, but my first thought was Lin-Manuel Miranda playing Papa Gay, its history and demographics most closely reflects black actors, as most of Haiti's population is descended from slaves. I'm going to do some casting, even though, I'll be honest, I don't know. I know enough about the show. I did a lot of research, but like, I've never seen it. I've only listened to the cast album once. While I know a lot of actors of color, it's because I'm familiar with productions that cast those kinds of actors, and the two main ones I know of that focus on one race specifically are both about Latin Americans, but I'm going to give it a go. Ti Moune is kind of like Ariel for obvious reasons, so Halle Bailey could play her as she's already playing Ariel, or the girl who played her in the Broadway revival a couple years ago, Haley Kilgore, as she's still young enough to be in the age bracket, as she was a teen playing a lead on Broadway before the holy trinity of Broadway teens, and the Broadway revival actually was not all that long ago. Daniel, the Eric character, seems like a sweet guy, but his soul has lots of not like other girls vibes, and he kind of leads Ti Moune on knowing that they can't get married, but when he finally is just like, yo, can't marry you, he implies that he could keep her as a mistress. You know which actor / singer is very good at playing boys that seem like sweet boyfriends, but maybe aren't the best in relationships and already is attached to Disney? Matt Cornett. Asaka is the goddess of the earth and has this kind of gospel belt and big personality. I nominate Jasmine Cephas Jones. She has a beautiful voice, has shown the ability to steal a show with one number in Hamilton, and needs more love and attention. Arsuli is a goddess of love and has a personality to match. Janelle Monáe is a singer and actress, and showed a very sassy and sweet side in Hidden Figures. Agbe is a god of water. He is a high berry, needs to be able to hold his own. Jordan Fisher would be fantastic, though I may be biased. And like, says hi Barry, he's naturally a berry, I've heard, but at the same time he can sing higher than me, so yeah. Papa Gay is a god of earth, death, and he describes himself as sinister, basically the closest we have to an antagonist in this show. And as I mentioned before, when I was focusing on the geography rather than the history, I had Lin-Manuel Miranda in mind. Because beyond the fact, because while he's known for more lighthearted things like Hamilton and Mary Poppins Returns, he's a total cinnamon roll, but I have seen him do fairly well in more dramatic works, such as his Dark Materials. So it's totally within the realm of possibility, even if it feels like the time MatPat played the antagonist in the FNAF parody musicals put together by Random Encounters. Also, I honestly just think Lin-Manuel Miranda ought to like Stan Lee it and do cameos in every movie musical. Because, like, considering what he's done for the community, he's totally earned it. However, Lynn is not very likely to be in this story, so second best is Daveed Diggs. Though I know for a fact that some people have a hard time seeing him as someone other than Jefferson, even though he played a very different character in the same show. He's shown the ability to immerse himself in rather different roles, So I think he'd be able to do this. Also, he is another Little Mermaid transplant, as he's set to voice Sebastian the Crab in the live-action remake, although the two Sebastian the Crab and Papagay do not have that much in common. And I should probably stop there, because I've already gone on a tangent about Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he's not really even an option. And there are so many more characters, but I'm going to leave the professionals to that, because I don't know the show too well, and I don't know who's out there as well as a casting director would. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Leave casting suggestions in the comments if you know the show. Check out the cast album if you don't. But not before liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thanks to GoGo for editing, especially since this script has a lot of notes. And I'll see you next time down the rabbit hole.